it's kind of funny, right? Where some people are like, this movie is such Oscar bait. Sure, but then how are you not going to call five of the other seven or five of the other 10 movies out there Oscar baits that are going to get Oscar nominations? You can't be a hypocrite. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon, reviewing Hamnet. So it's about pretty simple premise. This is William Shakespeare and his wife and what they go through with the tragedy of Hamnet and how this play came into fruition. And this is a very interesting movie because if this is quote-unquote based on the true story, I did not know William Shakespeare kind of married a quote-unquote witch. I know it's like a forced witch, right? Of where you call them basically gypsies, if you want. I'm guessing that's the transition from that day and age to today's day and age. But this is basically about the tragedy, their love story, their lost story, and how everything intertwines into the final third act. And the third act is absolutely splendish, amazing, gorgeous, eye-dropping, and just well crafted through and throughout. So the acting, Jessie, Buckley, Paul Mescal do a great job. The Jupe brothers do a great job. Emma Watson does a great job. Or not Emma Watson. Emily Watson does a great job. So there you go, acting galore. Of course, Emily Watson is going to get a BAFTA nomination through and throughout. Let's see if that transfers over to the Oscars. I doubt it, but hey, we've seen weirder things happen before. All right, the look of the film, right? Very gorgeous. It's a slow crafted film, if you know what I'm getting at, where it takes time panning through shots. It is the same director as No Man Land, and I think she also did The Mustang, but she also did Internals, which I still haven't seen Internals. I just had zero interest in watching that film, but one of these days maybe I'll jump into that Marvel movie. But you could tell even from that movie, her movies are very scope. Very wide shots. We're going to take our time to get from scene to scene to scene. And some people are going to like that or don't. I think with this movie, it works with the themes, with the elements, when the actual production of this film. Because the production design is pretty cool as well, of having this old, crafty European village. I think it really works well. The makeup, pretty good here and there. You're going to have it with dirt and everything. And I like the attention to detail let's talk about the dirt actually, where you see people's fingernails in this movie and they're not clean. You have a lot of things in this movie where people just aren't clean. And that's very good for this period of time because I really do hate movies where it's based out in the 1600s, 1700s and they're all clean cut. And it's no, they don't take showers every day. They actually have to get their hands and feet dirty, and their face is going to get dirty, and they don't have time to clean up every single day. So when you see all these preppy shows like Bridgerton where they're all perfectly manicured and pedicured, that's just bullshit. This isn't like that, so I give that a huge props. Also with the script, same when talking about Bridgerton and other shit where the dialogue is today's dialogue. They never talked like that. Have you ever read a William Shakespeare play? Half the time I'm going, what the fuck am I reading? I have no idea what this is about. And even if you actually read text from back then, it is a lot of apostrophes, a lot of not full-blown words. It's how they say things. It's all the isms that you don't get from today's day audience. And I do feel the script does a pretty good job with getting us in that time period. Because there's nothing more infuriating where movies based in the 1600s, like William Tell, that actually brings it, and they talk normally. I'm sorry, they don't talk normally at that day and age. They just didn't. So this movie felt that way. And what this leads to a third act, which you're actually watching the tragedy of Hamnet, and it is absolutely amazing. Just because the audience reaction, not audience in my theater, the audience in the movie's reaction, and how you realize that is how entertainment was. And when they see that stuff, that's where they go, oh. And it's really just fun to watch, the crying, the laughing, the excitement of these audience members watching this play on stage, right? And what they're actually getting at. Because when there's one scene, too, with a wand and green smoke coming out, and they're whoa! And I laughed in the theater because at that time in life, they probably were like, this is crazy. How did they do that? Like, magic. And when you get that, like, reaction with the audience in the movie, you really get a good picture of what is going on, right? So I really did enjoy that. So emotionally, I do think it worked. I did not cry, but I do think the emotional impact was a lot better than, let's just say, Sentimental Value or other movies like that, because I feel like Sentimental Value tried too hard to be that emotional impact movie. Here, you could say it tried hard with some of the scenes of, like, the kid and things like that, absolutely, but I felt more connected to this family than the Sentimental Value family, right? And so that's going to be some people's pros and cons of what they like better. But like, to me, Hamnet is a better movie than, Sentimental Value on every level, in my opinion, personally. But hey, that's what I am. I'm just an audience member. I'm not a critic. I pay for all my movies, and there's things like that. So overall, Hamnet does its job through and throughout. Sure, some people might call it Oscar bait, and sure, maybe Steven Spielberg or Sam Mendes saw this and said, hey, we get Oscar nominations. Should we produce it? Yes, we should. And that could happen. That could have happened. And it probably did, honestly. But I thought it was well crafted, well acted. It's a well moved film. Yes, 2 hours. Could it be too long for some people? Absolutely. But I do think the third act payoff of just watching the emotional reactions of these characters really sealed the deal for me. So Hamnet will receive a 4.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals that 90%. Let's see what the critics and user scores gave this one. Critics an 86% with 192. Audience score a 93% with over 250. Critic consensus: breaking hearts and mending them in one fell swoop. Hamnet speculates, I'm an idiot, on an inspiration beyond Shakespeare's masterpiece with palpable emotion force thanks to Jessie, Buckley, and Paul Mescal's astonishing performances. So yeah, as you can see, I could never even read the Harry Potter books when I was younger, right? I was like, I don't even know what they're trying to say. I'm not reading this. So anyway, 86, 93, 90. Chase out here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of this Blue Futontopia, your Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching for a great day. I'm going to stay tomorrow, week from a month, a year from now. Obviously, go freak one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And let me know if you ever read a single Shakespeare play.